Farmview with Kieran O'Connor on WLR.
Brought to you by GlanbiaConnect.com.
Hello and welcome to Farmview. Well, as usual, it's Kieran O'Connor here with your weekly farming programme. Well, on this week's show, we'll have more good news this week with the reopening of Marts, and indeed we'll also hear about the success of new online systems from buyers from CEO of Cork Marts, Sean O'Sullivan. Plus, we also hear of the reopening of the country markets in Waterford again this week. We will have details of Enterprise Ireland's 2020 Innovation Arena Awards for the agri farming sector, with the annual awards now moving to online this year as a result of COVID-19. Plus, we hear about the fantastic success story of Glanbia Ireland's Pink Bale fundraising initiative in aid of Breast Cancer Ireland.
Farmview with Kieran O'Connor on WLR.
With GlanbiaConnect.com, Ireland's biggest online farming shop and more.
Well, on Monday last, there was great excitement in the West Waterford area with the reopening of Dungarvan Mart. And one man who was very happy indeed is the CEO of Cork Marts. Of course, Dungarvan is part of the Cork Mart groups, and that's Sean O'Sullivan. Sean, welcome back to our programme, and great to see business return to some bit of normality again, Sean.
Thank you, Kieran. I think the last time I was talking to you and to your listeners, I think we were in the throes of pre-COVID lockdown, and everyone was under a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, there was a lot of uncertainty, but a lot has changed in the space of nearly almost 3 months at this stage, and it is good to be back. We were back in business in Dungarvan last Monday. We were delighted to have some buyers back in the ring, albeit a limited number as per the, guidelines that we have to adhere to. We have a strict standard operating procedure agreed with the Department of Agriculture, which limits the number of buyers physically in our rings to 30 in the case of the Dungarvan main ring. So, maybe we cannot accommodate everyone on the day at the same time, but look, I know Ger and his staff there did their very best to facilitate as many people as possible and ensure that there was 30 buyers in the ring at all.
Sean, obviously there's a lot of protocol, physical distancing, but as regards the Monday last, how well did it work, number of buyers indeed online?
It worked well. I suppose during the shutdown, when we didn't have buyers in the ring, we, along with a lot of other marts in the country, introduced online buying. We have an online selling platform, and that has worked very well during the shutdown, whereby we were still able to sell cattle and buyers were able to bid remotely and buy them, and they went through the ring in the normal way without buyers present. Now we're operating what is known as the dual bidding system. So, for example, just some interesting figures from our sale in Dungarvan last Monday. 140 lots went through the sales ring. We had 30 bidders physically present in the ring, bidding from the floor, as we call it. And we had an additional 23 bidders online. So that was a total of 53 bidders, even though we had only 30 in the ring. So that is something we couldn't achieve without the online option. Interestingly, of that 140 lots, actually 46 lots were sold to online buyers. And the balance of 94 lots were sold to people who bid in the ring. So that was an interesting, about 1/3, 2/3. So I think it's a new feature of our business, and I think it's one that's here to stay.
I was just going to say that, because obviously the people who are online are not necessarily from the immediate catchment area, kind of a 30-40 mile radius, which really gives the seller a great chance. How well is it working with farmers coming, dropping the animals and leaving? Or is there a problem there, or is that working well? Are farmers adjusted to that? Sellers adjusted?
I suppose it is something that sellers have had to adjust to. Now, we had that system prior to closure, prior to closing on the 24th of March. We had operated that for the 3 or 4 weeks in March, whereby sellers we operated a drop-and-go system. Now we're continuing that, but they have the added benefit of being able to watch their cattle selling online. And with the online platform that we're using in Dungarvan, Corn and Care, it's called Livestock Live. It's an app that users can download on their smartphone, very easy to follow. And there actually is an option for the seller to give his consent online on the phone as soon as his stock are sold.
Brilliant.
And I think that is a great feature that more and more sellers will be trying to promote that with more and more sellers. One of the issues that we've heard over the years is that, it takes a lot of time in the market to do business, and sellers who are, pressed for time, particularly, I suppose, in dairy farming at particular times of the year, they don't have time to go to the market. They now have the option of watching their stock selling remotely and giving their consent as if they were standing physically next to the auctioneer. I think that is something we'll see a lot more of in the months.
So once again, it's Livestock Live, and guys should really get onto the web, and as you say, it works so well for the first Monday, and of course you're also involved in Fermoy Corn Mart on Tuesdays and on Wednesdays in Care. Well, Sean, I'm delighted it worked so well. We'll keep in touch with you, and we'll do an update in every few weeks on how well it's actually running. But I think well done to you and all involved. Great to see the marts open, and great to see the online option. Sean O'Sullivan, CEO of Cork Mart. Sean, thanks for talking to us. Well, on last week's programme, and the last 2 weeks' programme, we've been covering how farmers' markets are back both in the city and county. And of course, this week with the Marts back as well. But one event that's back again, and we're delighted to hear that it's back, is the Waterford Country Markets in St Olave's Hall. And joining us on the line is a very happy Vice Chairman, and that's Chris Hilliard. Chris, welcome back to our programme.
Thank you, Kieran. It's good to talk to you again.
Chris,
it's been a while since I was on with you, but it's lovely to come back to you. Thanks, Kieran.
Chris, you must be thrilled to have the country markets back. Like everyone else, the lockdown, everyone did their bit in Waterford, and really fantastic results as regards what we've done in Waterford. But to be back in the country markets, what does it mean to you?
Sure, it's terrific to be back. Just agree with what you said there, that everybody has played their part in Waterford and done a great job. We closed the market on the 13th of March. It's been very strange ever since not going in on a Friday. But thankfully we're back now again. We'll be there every Friday now for the moment from 9 until 1. We're looking forward to welcoming back all our old and regular members, right, and our regular customers, and we hope we'll see lots of new ones for all our local produce.
You mentioned 9 to 1, so a slight change in opening hours, but 9 to 1, it's a good 4-hour spell every Friday morning.
9 to 1, we feel that we just don't want to be there for too long with social distancing and the restrictions that are there. So yes, we have 9 to 1 for the time being.
Chris, for you reopening, what was involved as regards, as you mentioned it there, social distancing and real protocol? What has been involved for you? What changes will you have in St Olave's Hall?
Well, we're making a difference in that we're fortunate that we can come in the main entrance, and we'll go straight through the hall and out at the back door.
Okay.
And
a one-way system.
The old St Olave's cemetery there, and we can let people go out that direction. So we're doing a one-way system, and of course we'll have hand sanitizers and be encouraging people to wear face masks or gloves if they feel they'd like to.
Well done. As regards the range of products, obviously you have a fantastic range there on a Friday morning. You might outline to our listeners, to your customers who are well aware, but obviously a lot of new customers hopefully that might venture down to the country markets on a Friday morning. What'll be on offer?
Well, the great thing, Kieran, is that everything is local, and one of the mottos of country markets is you bake it, you make it, or you grow it.
I like it.
In other words, we don't buy in stuff to sell. We'll have baking cakes and buns and scones and all full range of home baking. This time of year, of course, there'll be a good range of locally produced vegetables in season, and the fact that we haven't been selling for the last couple of months, things will be bigger than expected, so you can look forward to find big heads of lettuce, find big carrots and lovely
Beautiful.
Strawberries.
I can imagine.
Eggs, of course, from our local producers. Again, farm-produced eggs, locally produced. No air miles involved in our products.
And I'm sure.
And of course.
Yes, sorry.
We have jams and marmalades and preserves, and then on the other end of the business, there's the craft end of it.
Right.
Now we have homemade soap, which is environmentally friendly made. We have jewellery, and there'll be embroidery. Now I just say, Kieran, for our regular customers, that one or two of our suppliers or our members have decided they're not ready to come back yet.
Okay.
So there may be a couple of things that people are used to seeing that may not be there on Friday or on Fridays in the future.
I can imagine.
Hopefully,
right,
they'll be back shortly.
And I can imagine, I suppose, flowers as well. You always had a great selection of flowers, and with the brilliant weather we've had, and we had Rayon from Mount Congreve last week. Definitely flowers, I'm sure, literally in full bloom and great colour, and you always had a great selection there on a Friday morning.
Absolutely, Kieran. I forgot to mention that. You're dead right. Yes, sweet pea has been fantastic this year. With the heat, it's really done well, and lots of other flowers, great value, and looking lovely.
Well, Chris, you must be great sense of excitement about reopening, and indeed, I'm sure all your members and the producers, and as you say, I like your slogan, bake it, make it and grow it, and definitely you have all of that on offer every Friday morning in the Waterford Country Markets in St Olave's Hall. Chris Hilliard, Vice Chairman of Waterford Country Markets. Chris, thanks for taking our call, and the very best of luck, and let's hope it'll go from strength to strength.
Kieran, can I just add in one other thing there, that we have modernised slightly. We have a card machine for anybody that doesn't know how to handle cash.
Oh, great.
And also you can find us on Facebook or Instagram at Waterford Country Market, and we're on email at waterfordcountrymarket@gmail.com.
Well done, waterfordcountrymarket@gmail.com. Well, listen, Chris, you're doing a great job there, and let's hope, and I know the local people will support, because now it's a time of supporting local, and my God, it doesn't get more local than the country markets. When you bake it, you make it, and you grow it. Chris, thanks for taking our call. Best of luck for the remaining of the season.
Thank you very much, Kieran. It's great to get the opportunity to talk to you, and we're looking forward to welcoming everybody in on Friday. Thanks, Kieran.
All the best, Chris. Thank you.
Farmview with Kieran O'Connor on WLR.
With GlanbiaConnect.com. Thousands of products in the palm of your hand.
Well, one of the highlights every year, of course, at the National Ploughing Championships over the past 10 years, would you believe, has been the Innovation Arena. Fantastic arena. And each year that I visited over the last 10 years, I got some fantastic interviews of very up-and-coming, budding entrepreneurs, both young and indeed established companies indeed. Well, this year, obviously, there's no National Ploughing, but the good news is there is going to be an Enterprise Arena Award scheme again with a cash prize fund of €10,000. Tell us all about this new innovation. Of course, it's going to be online this year. Is James Maloney of Enterprise Ireland, who coordinate these awards with the National Ploughing. James, welcome to our programme.
Thanks very much for having me, Kieran. Yeah, slightly different times, Kieran, from the last National Ploughing Championships. We won't have ice cream and blue skies in September at the awards, but what we're trying to do is keep the momentum going for the last 10 years. Like it is 10 years of the Innovation Arena this year, and we're innovating ourselves to do it a little bit different. We've seen great resilience in the agri community, and even with the Enterprise Ireland companies, to keep the doors open and keep production moving and keep the food on the table. So what we're trying to do is give a launch pad for these companies that have been working on new ideas, give them a platform to demonstrate them in September.
What really impressed me over the years was some of the larger companies who would be innovating with new latest technologies, but also young guys for the very first time had an idea in their head, brought it to fruition and then displayed it at the National Ploughing. So it was really a win-win for both the large and the budding entrepreneur and the experienced companies as well in large.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we see it, like we had our youngest kind of participants over the years. We've had Jack Nagle with a tractor safe lock device, which came, as you say, his granddad was in an accident on a farm where the handbrake wasn't engaged and rolled away as the tractor. Now, there was no real injury, but he invented a device that could automatically put on the handbrake. And we had Niall Keogh from Flash Records last year, 16 years old as well, and has already met the CEO of Apple and developed an app for farm accounts. So it's great to see these minds working so quickly and solving problems, themselves, not waiting for anyone else to do it. It's a good soundbite or a good a beacon of opportunity for this sector to know that talent is there.
And indeed, within the sector, of course, you've dairy, dry stock, horticulture, iCloud information, technology, software, animal health, genetics, farm safety, of course, which I'm a big fan of. I think we cannot promote that enough. Indeed, farm management, and really a wide plethora of areas within the sectors of the agri-food industry.
You're right. It encompasses so much. It's such a big, wide kind of net that it's all over the industry. And what we're seeing with the industry at the moment, starting to digitise that a little bit more. Like farmers are looking for the sensors, and the IT and the traditional farmer are working together. And now they're getting the data and the collection of information. And I'd say this is the way it's going to have to go as we face into. We have to use our fertilizers and our pesticides in more efficient ways. We can see what's happening. There's a big green agenda moving on. And I think innovation and technology has a huge role to play in that.
And of course, waste management, environment, as you mentioned, we've seen with the shoe trail, with the actual spreading a slurry, what guys can do. As regards, obviously, within COVID-19, and already earlier in the programme, we had Sean O'Sullivan, CEO of Cork Marts, on about how they've adapted. So obviously, COVID-19 might give opportunities as well for guys to come up with very practical appliances that can help in the future.
Yeah, and it's amazing. Like we've all turned on to Zoom and Skype and Microsoft Teams overnight, and it's shown great flexibility across the agri community and across the industry, and how people have kind of worked together to get through it. I mean, great sense of teamwork. And you're right, like the traditional Mart, we've seen a number of platforms come through with Mart bidding opportunities where the guys can actually bid on the animals live now without going to the Mart.
Correct.
And we're seeing that. We're seeing that coming through in some of the farm machinery auctions as well, that where there's viewing over a kind of social distance viewing, and you put your bids online. And the thing about this is these technologies have been available in other sectors, but it's now trying to integrate them to solve the problems for ourselves. And I think once it's definitely a COVID crisis does bring opportunities, and that is a fine example of one.
I'm delighted as well that going online, of course, it means guys will still get huge publicity of this. Obviously, they'll be automatically eligible to exhibit the 2020 winners enclosure section and that. So if I have some item to be entered for the competition online, you'll be able to give it good publicity. And obviously, the National Ploughing Championships, the actual ploughing itself is going to take place this year without the whole trade fair. But of course, and I think you're going to still keep up the link, because the ploughing has been a great promoting vehicle for you over the year. I'm delighted to see that you're staying in touch with Anna May and Marie in the National Ploughing as regards this year's awards.
Oh yeah, she's she's very much staying on the button with this. She's a strong interest in innovation herself. It's a focal point of the ploughing. You're right, Kieran. Like we're not like we will keep the link there because initially, like if Enterprise Ireland has only been involved with this for 7 years, but it was the NPA and actually Fiona Deegan and Kilkenny Leo, along with Alfie Cock from Carlow, that started all this moving before we got involved. Like Enterprise Ireland saw the opportunity in this for the sector and for the agri technology and our agri engineering sectors and the sheer mass and volume of people that visited the ploughing. Now, we're not going to get that 300,000 people this year, but what we're hoping to do is to use the likes of yourselves to talk about the innovation, put it on the website and do as much social media and video footage of the participants as we can. So I don't know what we were going to present the awards, but we will still keep the awards announcement on until the first day of the ploughing. But the winners might have to keep quiet for a while because we might be doing a little bit of video work and interviews with them beforehand.
Obviously, as you say, we'll have to adapt as you go along, and definitely, hopefully by September that a lot of things might have changed anyway, so hopefully for the better. As regards entering, a lot of guys listening to us, a lot of people with budding ideas, budding entrepreneurs as well as the established companies, how can they enter and what's the time frame and when is closing date?
It's open now, Kieran. We opened the competition on the 3rd of June and it will close on the 10th of July, and you can apply for it online at www.innovationarena.ie. If you put that into any Google search bar, it'll bring it up for you. And also there's links from the National Ploughing site or from our own site as well to come across to the application.
So it's innovationarena.ie, and that's the one to go to. And indeed, of course,
that's the one to go to.
Correct. And of course, the most groundbreaking, really technology and amazing cutting edge ideas over the last number of years have come from this, and let's hope this year will be no exception. And hopefully, within the whole COVID-19, there might be some very interesting suggestions. And as finally, just to clarify again, as regards the prize fund, it's a total of 10,000, but is there 5 for each best startup and best overall? Is that the breakdown?
Yeah, the way we're doing the prizes this year is we've 2 cheques to write, and one is for the best startup, who will receive a cash prize of 5,000, and then for the overall winner of the best innovation across all the categories you mentioned earlier on, Kieran, they will also receive a cash prize of €5,000.
Well, James, listen, I'm delighted that you're going ahead, and well done to you and the Enterprise Ireland and of course the National Ploughing for staying involved in this difficult time. Enterprise Ireland's Innovation Arena Awards 2020. For more information you get on to innovationarena.ie. James Maloney, James, thanks for talking to us. Best of luck and keep us posted, and we'll keep updating our listeners as we go along throughout the summer. Thanks a million, James.
Kieran.
Well, with COVID-19 very much to the focal point of everybody in Ireland at present, of course, the whole area of cancer, indeed breast cancer, differently hasn't gone away. And with that in mind, Glanbia Ireland once again have announced its Pink Bale fundraising initiative. And to tell us all about this initiative, which has been such a huge success, is Grace O'Dwyer. She's Glanbia Ireland's Retail Marketing Manager. Grace, welcome to our programme.
Hi, Kieran. Thanks very much for having me.
Grace, this Pink Bale fundraising initiative has been a fantastic success over the years, a great buy-in by the farmers, indeed by Glanbia. You might outline the background of this and why you've decided to go with it again this year.
Yeah, so Kieran, I suppose breast cancer is something that's, as an organisation, I think is very close to our hearts, and it's really united us as an organisation for both Glanbia Ireland and also the wider Glanbia group. As you know, Glanbia Ireland is very much a community organisation, and we're in communities, I suppose, right across the country through our branch network and also through the vital services that we provide to the farming community. And breast cancer is something that affects every community across Ireland. So I suppose in that respect, we feel it's a very worthy cause for us to get involved with, and something that we know that also our farmers and our customers feel passionately about. We've been involved with this Pink Bales initiative since 2016, and I'm happy to report in conjunction with our farmers we've raised over €40,000. So I think that that's something to be very proud of. And if you take that €40,000, that represents 15,000 Pink Bales since 2016. So very much not just about the funds, Kieran. I think it's also about the awareness that we're bringing, and I suppose when you think about those Pink Bales lighting up the countryside, it does create a talkability and a conversation around breast cancer, which I think is really important.
And definitely, I've been at the presentation at the ploughing over the past number of years. Indeed, the representatives of Breast Cancer of Ireland are so appreciative, not alone of the handing over the cheque, but as you say, this whole visualisation and indeed promotion of the Pink Bale, and farmers have really bought into it, because people worried initially, would farmers buy into it? My God, have they bought into it in their thousands?
And I think we have to be really thankful of that, Kieran, because we're just really providing the service, but it's the farmers that are coming in are going online and purchasing the pink bales and, doing the work with their contractors and that to have the pink bales light up the country. And I think it's really important actually now more than ever. We're hearing from our association with Breast Cancer Ireland that the numbers of people presenting with breast cancer are down at the moment because of COVID-19. I suppose people just aren't comfortable maybe, going forward, but it is still really important. Breast cancer has not gone away, and we can't, I suppose, we have to be careful in that respect, and we have to continue to try and drive awareness and talkability around it. So I suppose we're hopeful that this year now more than ever, that those pink bales across the countryside will help Breast Cancer Ireland in their quest on achieving that.
It's a very simple protocol really. Once you purchase your pink bale, you're contributing to the overall fund, and as you say, over 40,000 raised over the last number of years. Of course, the Pink Bale initiative isn't the only thing Glanbia Ireland, indeed Glanbia as a group, has been involved in, raised some serious funds within the company itself over the last number of years for Breast Cancer Ireland.
As I said at the start, it's supporting Breast Cancer Ireland is really something that's united the organisation, right from, our colleagues in Glanbia Group. They've been running the Great Pink Run, both in Ireland and in the States, and have raised amazing funds for that. And within Glanbia Ireland, our staff every year get involved in what we call a 2 Peaks Challenge, where about 100 employees head down to Kerry over the course of 2 days take on 2 peaks. And then we also have another initiative called Cycle 300, where over 2 days again, over 300 kilometres are cycled. And about 70 employees got involved in that last year. So when you add all of that together, in 2019 alone, there was almost 100,000 euros raised for Breast Cancer Ireland. So I suppose that's something that we're really proud of, and really, I suppose, thankful to farmers and our communities for supporting us in.
Super, fantastic audience. So once again, to remind our listeners, it's obviously available at all agri branches and Glanbia Country Life stores, and I suppose for more information, GlanbiaConnect.com. Would that be the best route?
Yes, yeah. Or so, as you said, available in all 52 of our branches, but also available online through Glanbia Connect, Kieran. So anybody right across the country can go online or into their local branch within Waterford if they want. So lots of options there.
Grace O'Dwyer, Glanbia Ireland's Retail Marketing Manager. Grace, listen, to you and all involved in Glanbia Ireland, indeed Glanbia's group, well done, and congrats on the fantastic money you've raised in the past. I'm sure this year the farmers won't be found wanting for your Pink Bale fundraising initiative. Grace, thanks for talking to us. We'll talk to you in the near future.
Thank you very much, Kieran.
Well, before I go, a reminder of the farmer markets, indeed country markets right across the city and county. This Saturday and every Saturday morning we've Waterford Farmers Market, John Roberts Square. Also on Saturday morning, of course, we've the Strawberry Markets, now also trading outdoors. While on Thursday mornings we've Dungarvan Farmers Market every Thursday morning in Grattan Square. While on Friday mornings we've Waterford Country Markets in St. Olave's Hall, running from 9 until 1. And for horse lovers, don't forget the Beachfield Sport Horses and Pony Summer Leagues are up and running every Thursday and Saturday. Competitions from 70 centimetres right up to 120. Start time on Thursday is 5 p.m, while on Saturday mornings it's 10 o'clock every Saturday morning. For more information, you can look up the Facebook of Beachfield Performance Horses. Well, that's it for this week's programme. Once again, my thanks to Ollie and Sean for all their help in putting this week's programme together. So for myself, Kieran O'Connor, goodbye for now. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you same time next week.
Farmview with Kieran O'Connor on WLR.
With GlanbiaConnect.com. Thousands of products in the palm of your hand.